Before you watch this episode of our cityCURRENT radio show, I want to invite you to join cityCURRENT's e-learning and online personal development platform called GrowthCurrent. I'm Jeremy Park, host of the cityCURRENT radio show and CEO of cityCURRENT. GrowthCurrent is your exclusive ticket to attend virtual events with global thought leaders, national guest speakers, and experts who can help you grow personally and professionally. It gives you access to success secrets, lessons learned, learning modules, and so much more. Being online, you can join us from anywhere in the world. Subscriptions are only $8 a month, or you can do bulk subscriptions for your team. Check out growthcurrent.com to learn more and to join us in our efforts to power the good. And now, on to the show. Welcome to the cityCURRENT radio show. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference, powering the good in our community. And we're kicking off talking about Boy Scouts of America, Chickasaw Council. We are joined by their Chief Communications Officer, Holly Cooper. How are you doing, Holly?
I'm great, Jeremy. How are you doing?
Doing very well. So my brother's an Eagle Scout. My dad is a Silver Beaver, Wood Badge, whole 9 yards. Boy Scouts runs through our blood in our Park family for sure. So heavy supporters of what you all do and extremely important work. But give us some context. Talk about Chickasaw Council with Boy Scouts of America.
Sure. Well, the Boy Scouts of America obviously is one of the nation's largest and most prominent value-based youth development organizations. Chickasaw Council serves nearly 6,000 scouts in 17 counties in Tennessee, Arkansas, and Mississippi. And obviously our mission is to equip young people for life lessons, values, high-level values, skills that they will be able to use for the rest of their lives, leadership skills, and just the ethics that we take great pride that we have with Boy Scouts.
Talk about the number of scouts and scout masters. So in other words, talk about scope within the Chickasaw Council.
Well, we serve nearly 6,000 scouts currently, and we have over 2,000 volunteers. And these volunteers are both men and women that dedicated their life to really being mentors and instructors to these youths that are in our programs.
Share a little bit about the kind of the structure, because you have Tiger Cubs, Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, Explorers. So walk us through the different paths, if you will.
Sure. Cub Scouts begin kindergarten through 5th grade, and you have the different levels. You have the Bears, and you have Webelos, you have Tigers, and that is different age groups. And as you age, you go into a different den. You have girl dens and you have boy dens. With Scouts, it starts our scouting program are girls and boys ages 11 to 17 years old. We have renamed it Scout BSA so that it is inclusive. And that's the time that people are really aiming towards merit badges. So based on merit badges and ranks, they move forward and obviously become Eagle Scout, which is most Scouts' ultimate goals, but everyone does not achieve that.
And so when you talk about the merit badges, dive in deeper on that, because there's so much variety and it feels like they continue to add, or you continue to add new ones based on the times and relevance and making sure that the youth are exposed to new experiences. But talk about some of the different merit badges, because it covers a wide spectrum.
It absolutely does, Jeremy. We have over 135 merit badges. And what merit badges do are prepare you and teach you different trades and skills, types of businesses. We have merit badge partners, for instance, AutoZone. And with AutoZone, you learn how to basically fix cars. So if you're interested in becoming a mechanic, that would be a couple of the merit badges that you would do. We have a partnership with International Paper, where we have sustainability, citizenship in the world, pulp and paper, and different merit badges that you learn through that. So we have great partners, and through those partnerships, there are different instructors who come out, volunteer their time, and teach our scouts those different trades that can become their livelihoods.
Yeah, I mean, I think the skills, the leadership, as you mentioned before, I also think there's a tremendous amount of both self and character development as well as family development. I look at, especially for the Cub Scouts, when you go through the handbook, the ability for you to walk along as a parent and say, here are the things to be better prepared. Here are the things to better do. I think it teaches you to come together as a family unit. So what are maybe one or two other things that really put a smile on your face when you talk about the leadership and the character development and also the family development side of everything that goes on with scouting?
Well, I would say it's a family affair. A lot of our leaders are parents, and they have been in the program with their children since Cub Scouts. So it has become a larger family, an extended family of the other scouts that have moved up the ranks with their children. Parents seem to have a wonderful relationship with each other. They attend a lot of events and become friends. So it's an extended community in scouting. I would also like to share in terms of merit badges and first aid. There was a situation last year where one of our scout masters was driving home from camp, got in an accident, leaving Kayakima. The car turned over several times. The scouts in the car went into first aid mode and literally triaged the people who were injured until the first responders could come and literally bring them to the hospital. It was a life-saving situation. And these are the things that we don't always promote as much as we should, but they saved their lives. And that's what the paramedics said when they arrived. Whoever did what they did, it saved their lives. So scouting is more than just the camping aspect, it saves lives.
Yeah, that's amazing. Talk about now opening access. And so you have scouting deserts, and I'll let you describe what that means, but stepping in and really making scouting accessible to everyone. So talk about kind of this new frontier for scouting.
Sure. Well, last year we launched Scouting Deserts program, and that focuses on recruiting minority youths in low-income communities in order to drive membership and touch their lives, because they might be interested in scouting but don't have the disposable income to join. So it's part of a larger diversity and inclusion strategy developed to ensure that the Chickasaw Scouts are reflective of the demographics of the Mid-South region. And because, you know, churches play a pivotal role in a lot of African-American communities, we've identified churches in Binghamton, Fraser, Hickory Hill, Orange Mound, and Whitehaven to partner with us. So we have a board member, Mrs. Rhonda Davis, and she's from Methodist Healthcare, but she's on our board and she's committed to the mission. She is the first lady at St. Paul Baptist Church in Whitehaven and has strong connections to other pastors and religious leaders in the Mid-South. So we've partnered with the Shelby County School District to increase awareness and educate students about the benefits of scouting and why it's relevant. So it is an ongoing process. We want to not just build the membership, but give opportunity to kids that might not be afforded it based on their financial situation.
And as you're talking, the diversity, the inclusion, that's a huge piece of scouting now, especially for, you know, what you're building out to make it accessible. And I love kind of the strategic focus of working with the churches and the community. You mentioned girls now as a part of this, and obviously for those kind of lifelong scouts, talk about now really being inclusive, not only of the diversity of skin color and faiths and that, but also the fact of bringing in young women and girls into the program. So talk about this kind of new frontier for scouting.
Well, yeah, it happened last year, Jeremy. The national office invited girls to join Boy Scouts of America. And what we're excited about is a lot of the girls are the sisters of scouts, and they have attended a lot of meetings, and they've been active in scouting their whole lives. They just could not join. So this year we have 112 registered girls in the council. We have two troops. Troop 8, they are out of Memphis, Tennessee, in Scoutmaster Rhonda Stanridge, and Troop 1, Scoutmaster Brian Look, and he's in Olive Branch. This year, I'm so proud to announce that several of our girls will be inducted into the first class of Eagle Scouts later this year. So, we're doing some great things to see the bond that these girls have, and they're very competitive. And they've chosen to do scouting for the various programs, but in particular for Eagle Scouts. When I've spoken to most of them, they said, I want to be an Eagle. My father's an Eagle, my brother's an Eagle. And you are at an advantage when you apply for colleges and first jobs. People see Eagle Scout on your resume and understand some of the discipline that you've had as a child.
And that's got to be a really powerful thing, especially to be that first class of Eagles for these young women to go through. And to your point, to grow up in a household where they see it all around them, but yet it wasn't accessible to them. And now it is, and they can be a part of that. Once again, back to bringing the family together too.
Yes.
It really is a special moment and opportunity. And so carry that forward into Camp Courier and some of the other things that you have going on, because there is a lot going on in a good way. So talk about Camp Courier and some of these updates and the planning that's going on too.
Well, for people that don't know, Camp Courier is located 30 minutes outside of Memphis, and it has undergone major construction and upgrades over the past few years. So this is for a scouting program, businesses, schools, nonprofits, and other groups for high adventure corporate retreats, conferences, leadership development, team building, and training purposes. So groups who are not associated with Scouting program are welcome to rent and use part of Camp Courier. Some of the features include a modern low and high ropes challenge course, 70-foot climbing wall, 300-foot zip line, shotgun, archery, and rifle ranges. Camp Courier is a hidden gem, and we hope that groups will support the Boy Scouts by choosing our camp for their next event. But again, we have a lot of great things that are going on, and people are not aware of this. So I'm glad we're having this conversation, because I think it's great for companies to take advantage of property while supporting the Boy Scouts.
Yeah, give us maybe a couple other, you mentioned AutoZone and their support and kind of building out the program to learn how to take care of your automobile and your vehicles. What are a couple of other ways that through volunteerism, activation, corporate support, what are some other ways the community can get involved in support?
Well, there's a lot of ways. We are always looking for volunteers in particular, men and women who are adults that want to be role models to our youths. And with the merit badges, if you're a partner, you're able to not just teach scout specific skills, but it also gives them an understanding of the type of business you have. It's a broad list of skills, and this might be someone who ends up working for the company that you're at. So, there's so many different merit badges and partners. We have partnered with Viking, and we have a partnership with Baptist. So there's a lot of healthcare initiatives and merit badges that you can earn as well. Like I said before, the first aid is one of them, to name a few.
Yeah. I know, to give you credit, you wanted to talk about this and mention it, but talk about nationally the Boy Scouts and just kind of touch on that in terms of what's going on, but also to the fact that it is separate from what you're doing on your end locally. So talk about that.
Yes, so in February, the National Office filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy to compensate victims of past child abuse in scouting, which many of the occurrences took place more than 30 years ago. There was a national ad buy, which most people have seen on television, heard the radio, got an email, saw it on email, or even a text, encouraging victims to come forward. And obviously, the Chickasaw Council absolutely encourages and supports that cause. So the bar date for victims to file a claim is November 16th. And based on how many lawsuits are filed, that will determine the financial settlement from the national office. But in preparation of the announcement, we started working on a plan so the national bankruptcy would not impact our local scouting. We have amazing leadership with our CEO, Richard Fisher, and our president, Johnny Pitts. So first, we wanted to identify all of our restricted assets, including land, buildings, and endowments. We purchased our own general liability insurance. We reorganized our staff. We restructured the board of directors with a focus on governance, fund development, operations, and assets. We have been extremely transparent with communicating the bankruptcy process to our staff, board, volunteers, supporters, and scouting families. And we want people to know that despite the bankruptcy, that the Chickasaw Council is financially sound. We are in good shape to continue delivering scouting at the level that we have in the past. There will be no interruptions. And we also have one of the strongest youth protection training policies found in any youth serving organization. So that's where we're at. It's unfortunate that it's happening, but it has allowed us as a staff to strengthen our relationship with each other and to understand that we are each other's keeper.
Give me something that when you look at the pandemic and everything on that side, what's something that you think is making you stronger coming out of this that ultimately is going to benefit scouting?
You know, the pandemic, when it hit, it was a month after the bankruptcy announcement. So we went from one month to another, just trying to figure out what we were going to do. So we had to evaluate our operating system to ensure that we were working as efficient as possible. We increased communications, and as I've said before, we created virtual opportunities for our scouts, volunteers, and partners because it was an important aspect of staying relevant during this time. We hosted nearly 150 virtual merit badge courses, and we had over 3,000 scouts attend virtually our merit badge classes, as well as people around the country. So we became a leader in terms of what do we do, how do we stay relevant and introduce merit badge and virtual classes to other councils around the country. So we really took a leadership role. Unfortunately, we had to cancel summer camp at Kayakima this year because of the pandemic, which people look forward to every year. But we have survived, and we're stronger and we're more efficient than we probably was in 2019 as a result of this challenge.
What's something that puts a smile on your face when you look at the impact that you're able to make in the lives of these men and now young women as well?
Watching them grow, just watching them grow, watching them be responsible, watching them take such pride in being a part of the scouting community. Many of our scouts are also honor roll students because the discipline that they are taught through scouting transcends to them in the classrooms. And they take it very serious. And the relationships that they build with their other troop members, it becomes lifelong relationships. It doesn't end when they become Eagle or go away to college. They rely on each other. And I think that type of community is invaluable, and you can't put a price on that.
I agree. Wrap up and talk about website, social media. Where do we go to learn more and get involved?
Yes, well, you can visit our website at chickasaw.org. We have Facebook, we have Instagram, all of the social media platforms, and all of them at Chickasaw Council. We look forward to introducing scouting to everyone. And you can also come to our office. We are located at 171 South Hollywood in Memphis, across the street from Shelby County School District. We have a wonderful scout shop with great apparel in there that you can purchase. We're always looking for people to come through and learn more about scouting.
Well, Holly, thank you for all you and your team do. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me, Jeremy.